Good afternoon. How are you? It is time for a lunchtime live again. Traveling through Colorado still, so a little off my routine, trying to make sure I get this computer set up right here. Okay. Hello. How is everybody today? Go ahead and get set up here on mobile. Oop, need that so I can see my comments. All right, so today we're going to talk Facebook ads, more specifically the text and images, the copy of Facebook ads, and change. It is a good thing. Hey Kelly, how are you? Um, so today I am traveling through Colorado, which is where I grew up. And I tell you what, if you have been through Colorado or Denver anytime recently or in the past and you're back there again, it is a little bit different than it used to be. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up here. You know, any city, any place that you've been, it changes a little bit. I drove by my old house that I grew up in today, and that was really interesting. There's a couple of things that are still the same, but the road is now like a two-lane highway. There's a roundabout. Somebody painted it a different color. But you know what? It's good because here we go. The economy is doing really well. There's all kinds of new jobs, which wasn't necessarily always true. And that's a good thing. Change is a good thing. But I'll talk more on that later. Okay. Yeah, it's a little different when you're traveling and you don't have your own desktop, your own home to work. You kind of have to find other little places to work, coffee shop here, or somebody else's desk there, or sitting on the floor like I did yesterday. Found a good little spot here today, so this will work out great. Got my glasses going. Okay, gonna share this really quickly. Okay. Lunchtime live. These lunchtime lives are really fun. Okay, so if you're here, just drop something in the comments. Drop a number or your favorite lucky number in the comments so I know you're here. Get this going. You know, it's a little different. You can see like some comments and some of the info, but it doesn't always keep up to date. So have to pull it up here on mobile so I can make sure I know what's going on. Which also helps with the delay. You know, there's a little bit of a delay from when I ask questions to when you see it and type answers, which is pretty good. So, alrighty. 13. 13 is a good number. I'd say 13 is a good lucky number. Found people who have 13 as a lucky number tend to be really lucky people, tend to be pretty successful. 3 is my personal lucky number. Lots of 3s in my life, so that's a good one. But yeah, driving through Colorado today, going from a few different places where I've lived, having meetings and clients here, which has been always been fun. You know, see some of the old houses where I used to grow up. The fields where I used to play in and play soccer in are now solid wall-to-wall housing, which is pretty funny. But there's all kinds of new stores and new jobs here, which is a pretty nice thing. You know, it wouldn't be good if it was the same. Although it's kind of sad to see things have taken a little bit of a turn, but you know, that's okay. Change is a good thing is my theme for today. But yeah, I went down to Louisville here in Colorado, and it's still kind of like this really cute little old town. There's this main street, and then there's a front street. They have some ice skating going on. There is several little restaurants, a lot of outdoor restaurants, you know, the patios. There's the desk, the rooftop dining, which I personally really like. A little cold to do that in February, but no worries there. And the old library's still there where I learned how to read. And on the front it says, you know, start here, go far, which I think was pretty fitting of my life so far. So, you know, good nostalgic memories. Thanks for going on this little memory trip with me today. But yeah, so moving into Facebook ads, a little bit of a theme that I've noticed in the last couple of days of questions that people have been asking me, a couple of trainings that we've done, as well as some articles that are going out, is what kind of text should I put in my ad? But more specifically, people have problems with too much text in ads. Hey Sarah, how are you today? How's things going? Um, hey! So a couple of people I've been talking to who have run some ads before, I'll ask here again, but if you've run ads, let me know, like, yes, run Facebook ads, or no, haven't. But a lot of people who have that I've been talking to have had difficulties with having too much text in their Facebook picture or boosting a post. Yeah, that's great, Sarah. I would love to hear more about it. Let me know. I'm gonna hit you up, send a message or something. But a lot of times there's just too much text in the ad. There's too much text on the photo. There's too much word in the paragraph. Now there's always exceptions, but in general you want less. So, there are some successful people who post really, really long stories, and you go through and read them, that are ads that I've seen that blow my mind how successful they are, because that's not usually the norm. There's always exceptions. It's all gray areas in social media and Facebook advertising, because as soon as I tell you something is, yes, it has to be this way, then there's going to be someone who does it the other way perfectly well and proves me wrong. So it really comes down to your audience. But in general, less text is better, especially for the images. So Facebook has a rule that 20% or less of the image can be text. So, and that's percentages. They have like a block. There's even a website. I don't remember the URL off the top of my head, but if you just Google Facebook ad text map, I think it is, or test it out, you can upload your photo to this tool that Facebook has to let you know if it has too much text in it, because it's kind of like a grid. So if you think, I'll grab my phone here. If your ad is like this, there's like a 4x5 grid on here, and the text can only take up 20% in those boxes. So even if only one letter is in a box, it'll count that whole box as text. Sometimes you can get away with it, but usually you can't. And best practice is you just don't want too much text. Again, depends on your target market, but a lot of people just don't read. They don't read the information. You want less is more. You want very simple amount of text, a call to action, let people know what they're looking at, what you want them to do, in as few words as possible. That was also our share today. Our post for today was from Albert Einstein, which essentially boils down to you are able to tell someone's intelligence, or you're able to tell your own understanding of something if you are able to explain it well. If you aren't able to explain it, you don't understand it well enough. Wow, that is quite a delay. I'm just now seeing where I'm at, which is a little bit behind. But a real challenge, which you've probably noticed when you were in school, or when your kids are starting to get a little bit older in school, they will have you actually teach a unit. And to really understand something, to understand how it works, you will know how much you know when you need to teach it, because when people ask questions, when people are wanting to know something about it, it really shows just how much you know about it. And being able to explain it efficiently in a way that other people understand is also the best way to really cement and understand your own knowledge, which I see every day as somebody who teaches social media and Facebook ads a lot. Almost every day somebody asks me a question that I don't know, even though I've been doing this for several years now, working in the ad industry especially. And there's just so much information out there that I know, but there's so many things that I don't know. But I like to help people figure it out on their own, because that's one of the most powerful things you can do, is to be able to understand it yourself. If I can teach somebody how to figure out the answers themselves, it's a lot more valuable than them having to be dependent on me for everything, which I really, really like. That's the whole point in starting Pancake Digital Solutions. Hey, Lauren, how are you? So back to having text copy in Facebook ads. So an ad, the actual ad that you see, any type of ad is made up of two parts. You have the visual image, and then you have the text, the actual wording. Hey, how are you? And that's called the copy. So in the image, you have to have less than 20% of it can be text. And honestly, you don't want too much text in the image because most people, upwards of 80 and 90%, are looking on their phone. So let me scroll down to not my face. But if you see, you see this post here, I have a good little quote on there, but it's in pretty big font. Even then, it's still kind of hard to read. Most people are looking on their mobile, and this is what they see. So if you have text in your image, let me pull up a timeline here, see if I can find a good example from something. If you just have too much, people just aren't going to be able to see it. So here's a pretty decent example of text in an ad, very simple. Pretty much know what it's about, making systems, organizing for business owners. And they have a little bit more information and a button. This is almost even more text than I would recommend within an ad. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and read it. And apparently I'm in the target market for these people, for this company, since they're advertising to me. Got to go opposite of what I'm seeing here. Sorry about that. But less is more, I mean, think about when you're on your Facebook feed, you're just sitting here, scrolling through it, not necessarily reading everything. So you want to capture attention with just a littlest bit. Like, hey, there's the live of the blood moon. Gonna read that for sure, and the logo. So when you're making your images, just make something that's eye-catching, something that stands out, especially that's on brand for you. And then for the copy, something very, very simple. As much as just asking people what you want. Let's see, the most posts that I did most recently today, that's an ad, is letting you know a little quote, that quote from Albert Einstein, and then asking you to describe what you do in 5 words or less. So that's asking people to comment on that post. Hey, Lisa, without actually using the terminology, comment on this post, because that's penalized actually. If you tell people to, well, there's some mixed theory on this. Some people have mentioned that they don't like, oh, there's the flower again. Somebody has a flower emoji, and it's just the neatest little thing. There's been some rumor that if you ask people to comment on your post or like or share it, that will be penalized as spam. That is kind of a really cheap and easy way to get engagement. So asking people, tag your friends, well, that's kind of clever, but if you just say, comment below or comment what your favorite this is or comment something like that, it will get a good amount of engagement, but it's a fairly easy way to do that. Something that's more challenging is like our post from earlier today that says, describe what you do in 5 words or less. Hey, Stacy, how are you? Great talking with you this morning. So it just challenges you to make sure that your ads are done a little bit better. So for example, asking people to comment without actually saying the word comment, gets people to think about it. But you do still want to keep that text asking, letting people know what you want them to do when they see your ad. One of the things we do a lot, yeah, thanks for catching me live. You had the flower emoji and it went away, Lisa? Yeah, I know. I thought that a lot of those things are usually only on promotions, like holidays. I'm sure for Valentine's Day there's going to be some additional things, maybe, I don't know, something Cupid-like or more flowers. But let me see, circling back to the images, text and images. Okay, I got distracted. That's a problem with going live, and then you have the comments. There's a little bit of the delay, um, but it's good. Good to have a good conversation live. Um, but anyways, with text, with what you want to say on the ad. Oh yes, of course. You think very much of what you want from the ad, why you are running the ad. Well, hopefully you think about that beyond just, I want more sales, I want to do well in business. You know, there's always a little bit more of your why, of why you're doing your business. Well, okay, penalized for asking people to comment, not necessarily, Lisa. So there's rumors about that, but Facebook just doesn't want your ads and your posts to look spammy from the business page. So just saying something like, comment how you feel about this. Just ask, how do you feel about this? Just the word comment, just removing it, it's fairly simple, and it challenges people to be better in what they're writing and the questions that they're asking. And that's really, a lot of these rules, a lot of these things are basically reduce spam, make better content. Facebook wants people to see what you want to see. I mean, how many of times have you gone through and you've seen an ad and you just get annoyed, like, ugh, I don't want this in my timeline. Ugh, this is terrible. You know, that's not, Facebook wants it to be a little bit better, of less of a passive experience and more of a participatory experience. What do you think? I like to use that phrase. You know, I would say it depends. Some people are really gung-ho that saying, comment this, like this, share this, will be seen less in the software that Facebook has tracks that and shares it less. I think it's okay to start out that way, and to use it sometimes, but especially as you're growing, you have a larger audience with various posts every day. I think it's a good challenge to ask other questions, especially for me. I mean, you know, I've managed social media accounts for tons of companies, and it's one of the quickest ways to start getting engagement is to say something like that, you know, comment what your favorite food is below, or comment with a GIF, which works really, really well to get started. But once you have to get to that next level of, you know, show us with a GIF what you're doing right now. Same thing, but you have to rephrase it. So, I don't know. Take with that advice what you want to do with it, and run with it or don't. It really depends on your audience more than anything else. If you are using the phrase that says comment blah, 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 and people comment on it and respond to it, then do it. Really just test it out, see what works. It depends on your audience. Because as soon as I tell you here, like, oh, it'll never work, then somebody will try it and it'll work great for them. So you never know. It's the gray areas. But little tangential conversation there. But I guess that is part of the copy, what you need to talk about in your ad. So, but yeah, going back to the point that I was making before, is with what you want to say, with you want your image to be, what you want to ask, and let the people know what to do. When they're looking at your photo, you think so much what you want. You know, oh, I'm going to put $10 to boost this post to get more sales on my website. Far, you know, when you're doing an ad, when you're doing a Facebook ad, when you're running your social media, it is so important to start with intent. Your intent and the intent of the audience member when they see it. So, why are you posting that specific piece of content? Why that image? Why that phrase? And hopefully you already have a strategy that you're not thinking about this too hard. If you are a crafter, for example, in your business, or you're a service-based industry, you know, cutting hair, creating products, going to events, your social media is really just documenting what you're doing. You're just taking pictures of what you're doing as your strategy. Then you don't have to think about it too much, because your strategy is documenting what you're doing to show you as a person behind your business, which is really powerful. But you just want to have that intent, especially with ads when you're putting money, because you want your lifetime cost of your customer to be more than the cost of acquisition, how much it cost for you to get them. So just be thinking about it. Why are you putting that post out? Why are you putting that ad out? Have your overall strategy. Don't overthink it. Just make sure that you have a point to what you're doing. Even if it's just, I want to reach more people with pictures of my product. Then the second side of that, the other side of the coin, is what are people going to do when they see that image? What do they want? And this goes hand in hand with your business in general. So with the products that you're selling, with the service that you're offering, why do people want it? So for me, with doing Facebook ads classes, why is somebody going to want to do a Facebook ads class? Well, a lot of the people that I work with, they don't necessarily have the funds to hire somebody else, and they don't have the time to waste on messing up things while they learn. So they just want to know how to do it, take this class, do this training, and be set. And I've been asking, how do you want to learn Facebook ads? If you were to hire somebody to help you, what would you want them to do? And that's how I created the services that I offer. And I still ask people about that. In fact, if you have interest in Facebook ads, if you were to get help with Facebook ads, what's the help that you would want? Just let me know. And I'll make it happen, or let you know who can help you with that. But you sell a product, you sell a service, and why are they going to want to do that? So when you're documenting your content, when you're posting things on your social media or running your ads, you want that to match exactly what you are thinking, with the point of your business, of what problem are you solving. Every business was created to solve a problem. Every product, every service is solving a problem. And so your content can just reflect that. And once you get clear on it, like, I sell this because it helps people with this, and they want to use it because of this. Simple. And you probably can answer that question really easily. Then your content will reflect that. A refresher course. What kind of refresher course, Lisa? On what specifically? But okay, sorry, I got myself distracted again. I just realized my battery is almost dead. Always fun to travel and get a little out of your routine, but still try to keep up your routine. Facebook on ads. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Lisa, send me a message now, a private message, or send it to the business page, or I'll follow up with you when I get off here in a little bit, and we can chat and see how things are going for you. But yeah, so back to, hey, Andrea, how are you? So back to Facebook ads, how to figure out the text, how to figure out the image. If you are super clear on why you have your business, then your social media is just recording what you're doing in your business every day. And so therefore, the images, the text, the copy reflects that, which is, pretty straightforward. Try to keep it easy. If you are stressed out with your Facebook, if you are struggling with your social media, you sit down at the computer, you're like, I have no idea what to post. If you are thinking, I don't have time for this Facebook crap, if these things are going through your head, drop me an emoji, let me know. But they shouldn't be. It should be fairly simple. It should be fun, and it should be, hey! Oh, this delay is so funny. It should be fun for you. You started your business because you love what you do, or you saw a need in the marketplace. You do what you do because you're good at it, you're smart, and you can help people with it. Hey, Natalie, how are you? And your social media should just be recording that. It should be fun. It should be easy. And it shouldn't stress you out, and it should reflect your business all the time. So if you're thinking, what am I going to post on Facebook today? Well, what did you do in business today? What did you make today? Who did you talk to today? And just record that. And so when you're thinking what kind of images you need, what kind of text you need, if you have too much text in your images for your ads, then change that a little bit. Hey, Kate, how are you? Sidetracked. Okay. These comments, as it goes, and it's reflecting a little bit what I asked a couple of seconds ago. I have to remember what I was talking about a minute ago and then try to remember what I was going to talk about. Usually I have a list in front of me, but you know how it goes when you travel. You're a little off your routine. But if you have too much text in your image, then put the text above or later. So your ad really is just getting a little snippet of curiosity, just a little bit of information. I mean, think of billboards that you drive by, or think of radio ads. They have your attention for a brief second. And when people are on their Facebook and scrolling through, you just have their attention for a brief second. So you just want enough of an intrigue to get them to stop. And then they will engage with that photo. They'll engage with that post. So maybe, your ad is a little sneak preview of what you did that day, and say, to see more, click to my website or send a message for questions. And keep it simple like that. But to reiterate, if you're having thoughts of, I don't have time for social media, Facebook ads is too hard, social media is too hard, I can't do it. Oh, can I just hire somebody to do this for me? If you're having any of those thoughts, let me know. Drop a few more emojis in the comments and I'll reach out to you, because you shouldn't feel that way. It should be as simple as, if you send a text message picture to your mom that day to let her know what you were doing, or, your kids telling you about how their day was at school and showing you their art projects. You love your business. You love what you do, hopefully. And if you don't, I guess that's a different conversation. But just share with people what you love. That's why I'm getting on live every day, because when I was talking to people, they kept telling me, you need to be on videos. This needs to be recorded. I was having conversations with people and they would say, oh, I wish this was recorded. I wish I had a video of this to listen to later. And so that's what I'm doing now, so that you can hear me talking about these ads. Hey, Jessica, how are you? The real trick, which, circling back to what I was talking about in the beginning with the post that we shared on the Pancake Digital Solutions Facebook page earlier today, was a quote from Albert Einstein that we've been thinking of. Hey! To truly understand something, if you can't explain it, you don't understand it well enough. And to teach something, you know how it is. When you teach something, you realize just how much you know about it. When people start asking you questions, you realize just how much you don't know about it. So explaining something simply is a huge challenge. And when you're creating your ad, that's something to keep in mind. So in the post from today, I ask, what do you do in 5 words or less? Can you explain it? So just let me know right now, what do you do in 5 words or less? Drop it in the comments. See if you can do it. And you love what you do, and it's that passion, which sometimes can be a little bit difficult to convey in words, because your emotions, your feelings are in a different part of your brain than where your communication part is. So, like, someone might ask why you love your spouse, or why you love your children. And that's one of those things that's very difficult to explain. And so the challenge is describe what you do in 5 words or less. So we have Lisa does print and design solutions. Awesome. Jessica does custom digitally printed fabrics. I mean, perfect. That explains it. So when you're creating your posts and your ads, you're recording this. You're just recording your print and design solutions. You're recording your custom digitally printed fabrics. And then what? Do you want people So maybe you have a new print and you're recording, you just record it. You take a picture and say, we do custom print solutions. We have print and design solutions. Deciding between these two fabrics, let us know what you like better. Deciding between these two fonts, let us know what you like better. And simple as that. That's an easy way to get around that, the comment word, to not look spammy by saying comment below, which again, hit or miss on if that's really a problem, but it pushes you to do a little bit better of an ad, gets people thinking. So that's kind of a very long-winded explanation to when you have too much text in your ads, what you can do about it. Copy the actual text that you're writing in the post. There's not really a limit to that when you're doing ads. It's just the text in the image. And you can put as much text as you want in the above hand and just start seeing how people respond. Within an ad set, you have 2 different ads. Try one with one sentence and then try one with more text and see what works better. Hey Terry, good afternoon. How are you? Welcome to Live at Lunchtime. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to talk about today a little bit is change is a good thing. And I'm just getting the notification that my battery is dying, so I'll have to be a little bit brief here. But if you were here with me live earlier, I was talking about I'm in Colorado this week, which is where I grew up. But I haven't been here in a while, and it's changed a lot. And it kind of the feelings of, you see all these houses that used to be fields and all these new stores that are completely different. And that first initial change can be really frustrating. Just like we see these new algorithm changes or these new Facebook rules, or you log on and the timeline looks different and it's annoying. But pretty soon you realize, oh, it's actually super helpful to have a grocery store 2 blocks away from me. Or, oh, it's kind of nice to have that neighborhood because now your kids have some kids to walk to the school bus stop with. And now there is a school bus stop that they can walk to. So with that, with social media, with Facebook, it changes so fast and so rapidly. It's like visiting your hometown again after being gone for years. And initially it can kind of feel uncomfortable and not great. But more often than not, those changes are for the better. When people implement changes in business, it's for the better, to reach more people, to have a better product or a service. So change can be a really good thing. Places that don't have change, not good. So just something to keep in mind, just to, when you're feeling a little frustrated with learning something new, just be patient with it. It's a good thing. I mean, we all had to learn how to use Facebook at one point in time for your personal self, and you probably didn't learn it overnight. Probably had to figure out, like, what the heck is a wall, and why are people commenting, and what does it mean, a friend request? And now all of a sudden you have a business page. Well, what the heck is a business page? What's the post? Why do I have followers? But you learned that. So just keep that in mind as you're going through and learning today. And to reiterate, if you are feeling frustrated with your social media for your business, if you are having thoughts like, I wish I could just hire somebody to manage this for me, I hate this, this is taking too much time, I don't have time for this crap, drop a few emojis and I will follow up with you. And of course, always shoot us a message at Pancake Digital Solutions with any questions you have, and happy to get you going with things. So have a beautiful day. Happy advertising, happy Facebooking, and embrace a little change today. All right.